Hello, and welcome to the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Hannah Sutherland. I'm a lover of all things self-care, personal development, and spirituality. I have created this podcast to help you grow into the most soulful version of yourself while creating more joy, magic, and purpose in your everyday life. If you're ready to live a life so full, then you, my friend, have come to the right place. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and now let's dive deep. Hello, you beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. I just want to say that I'm sorry I'm a little bit late getting this episode out to you guys, but I have been moving. I just moved into my place on the 1st, and I am so excited. I manifested getting a place that I could have an office, so I am officially in my new office, my new podcast studio, and it feels so good. I have spent the last 2 days moving so much stuff and organizing, and did not make time to record this podcast. So now I am here. It is 2 a.m. and I am recording this podcast because I am dedicated. But it is going to be a little bit later than normal, so I apologize. But I love you guys so much, and I hope that you enjoy this episode. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking all about the planets to help you better understand their energies and astrology. Astrology is truly so complex, so this is another part to my astrology series. Today I'm going to be just talking about the energy of the planets. Each planet has its own unique energy that it gives off, but it also depends on which sign and which house these planets are in for your chart. And if I went into detail about each one of those, we would be here for far too long. So I decided that I'm going to talk about each planet, and then I will use my placements in my chart as an example for how those energies can show up differently when they're in different signs and different houses. So there are 8 different planets. The first planet is Mars. This planet rules our animalistic instincts, which is why it represents anger, aggression, sex, death, action. It is our drive, our motivation, our fight, and our instincts. So Mars can also show how driven you are to achieve certain things, where your passions are, when you're ready to take charge of certain situations, what riles you up, and how do you show up ready for battle. And it also can show you what inspires you to move into action on certain things. So Mars is also referred to as the god of war, and it is a very fiery energy. Mars rules the sign Aries, and in ancient astrology, it also ruled Scorpio before they knew about and included Pluto, but some people still think of it as the co-ruler of Scorpio as well. And it also rules the energy of the first house. The power of Mars energy is assertiveness, directness, adventurous, forthright, and driven. The shadow energy of Mars is impulsive, impatient, rash, aggressive, and forceful. Mars moves into a new sign every 6 to 7 weeks, and it takes about 2 years to go through all 12 of the zodiac signs. So in my chart, I have Mars in the first house. So having Mars in the first house can make you assertive and confident, courageous, maybe a little aggressive and intense, deeply driven, and a go-getter. People are attracted to that I'm hardworking, and people with a Mars in the first house tend to be successful. But my Mars is also in the energy of a Libra, which ends up making me be more of a peaceful warrior, because Libra is all about balance, and Mars is the planet of aggressions. So the energy of Libra cancels out some of that aggressiveness, which is where it more turns into a peaceful warrior kind of energy. And when you combine those together, my assertiveness and actions are more driven by my strong desire to create harmony and balance. It gives me a natural charm and grace to my demeanor and may tend to be more of a people pleaser in order to maintain that peace and balance, which, yes, I am guilty for that one. The next planet is Venus. Venus is the planet that represents grace, charm, beauty, pleasure, luxury, and relationships. It is who and what you are attracted to, what gets you in the mood, how you spend money, what you value and cherish. It is where you need to create harmony and peace. It is your personal style, how you dress and decorate, and your justice, your sense of fairness, and who you stick up for. Venus is referred to as the goddess of love and beauty. Venus rules the signs Taurus and Libra, and also rules the 2nd and 7th house of astrology. The power for Venus energy is compromising, peacemaking, tasteful, loving, and pleasurable. The shadow side of Venus is self-centered, vain, superficial, self-indulgent, and pleasure-seeking. Venus moves into a new sign every 18 to 19 days and takes about 7 months to go through all of the signs. In my chart, I have Venus in the 10th house, which gives me a natural ability to inspire and guide others. It has strong leadership qualities and can have a career associated with love, beauty, and harmony, creativeness, and charming. Brings compassion, kindness, loyalty, and helpfulness to career. My Venus is also in the energy of Cancer, so I am highly emotional, nurturing, sensitive, requires loyalty in relationships, and makes me a very affectionate and a softie. I am a super big softie. And when you combine the energy of the 10th house and Cancer with Venus in there, your career and public image is nurturing and caring, and you may have a career that is in caregiving or in public service, something that you are serving and caring for others, which, yes, absolutely, I resonate with that. The next planet is Mercury. Mercury is the planet that rules communication, and it represents expression, communication, relationships, coordination, and analyzing, mobility systems, thought processes, social life, and hobbies. So it can be like, how do you articulate your thoughts, and how do you organize data and stay on top of things like that? How do you process ideas and make decisions? What do you like to do in your extracurricular time? It's very mind-oriented, and Mercury is referred to as the god of communication. Mercury rules the signs Gemini and Virgo, and also rules the 3rd and 6th house. The power of Mercury's energy is curious, communicative, inquisitive, versatile, and expressive. Mercury's shadow energy is high-strung, nervous, indecisive, nitpicky, and too technical. Mercury moves into a new sign every 2 to 3 weeks, but it retrogrades, which means moves backwards, 3 to 4 times a year, and it can stay in one sign for up to 10 weeks when it's in retrograde. And this makes it take about 1 whole year for it to travel through all of the 12 signs. My Mercury is in the 9th house, so it gives you excellent communication skills, somebody who loves learning and researching. They're idealistic, wise like an old soul, but curious like a child, very much me. Want to learn and gain more knowledge. And my Mercury is in Gemini, so that makes it quick thinker and talker, curious, always looking for the why, smooth talkers, and quick-witted. And when you combine these together, it creates somebody who seeks to understand the world from an intellectual perspective. Lots of learning, lots of communicating, lots of knowledge. And Mercury rules Gemini, so it's at home in that energy. The next planet is Jupiter, and this is the planet of plenty, which is why it represents knowledge, honor, hope, purpose, law, morality, possibilities, and luck. So the planet of Jupiter is all about risk-taking and expansion, truth-seeking, principles. What are your core ideas, truths, and beliefs? Your travel style. Do you like to fly and travel the world? Are you a road trip kind of gal? And it also shows where you're free. Jupiter is referred to as the king of the gods, and it rules the sign Sagittarius and the 9th house of astrology. The power of Jupiter's energy is morality, honor, luck, growth, and optimism. The shadow of Jupiter's energy is blind optimism, excess, overindulgence, laziness, and blind idealism. Jupiter moves into a new sign every year, which means it takes Jupiter 12 years to go through all the signs. I have Jupiter in the 7th house, which makes you half of a dynamic duo, loves to join forces as long as you don't feel restricted, loyal and faithful partner, loves to learn new things, and often creates happy and successful partnerships. I have Jupiter in Aries, which makes you self-focused and self-sufficient, confident, and power to do great things with your life, and loves knowledge and adventure. So when you put these together, it's a significant influence on relationships and partnerships, creating confident and also a lot of luck in relationships as well. And also to be able to find that relationship that you're looking for, you have to be very confident in yourself, because that is going to attract a person that is also confident. And to be confident in your relationship, I think it is very important to be confident in yourself first, because if you go into anything with a bunch of insecurities, it's just leaving a lot of open wounds that could, little things can make worse, and that's going to create a lot of issues in a relationship. The next planet is Saturn. Saturn is the planet of concentration, discipline, responsibility, hard work, time, and wisdom, and long-term goals. Saturn has to do with time, where you take times, and how things take time to develop. It has to do with your karma, so your past life lessons that you are facing again to learn this time around, and kind of the karma that you will have within this life as well. Your ambition, so where you want to put in the work and really challenge yourself to become the best you can be. Your authority, so leadership styles and where you take charge. Boundaries, so setting your limits for yourself, and this could be creating boundaries with people in your life, or boundaries that you create for yourself, like limiting yourself to be able to create or achieve certain things. For example, if you don't believe you're good enough, that's a big boundary that is in between you being able to do anything that you want to do. It has to do with your challenges, so things that you need to overcome in this life, where it's also your persistence, so making sure that you never give up. And it also is providing, so the way providing, and so how you show up to provide for your people, so your family, your children, your friends, things like that. And also suppression, which is how you restrict yourself or hold yourself back from growth, so that also has to do with the boundaries one as well. Saturn is referred to as the Lord of Karma. Saturn rules the sign Capricorn and also the 10th house. Saturn's power energy is responsible, structured, disciplined, hardworking, and requires a lot of growth. Saturn's shadow side is demanding, strict, restrictive, slow moving, and can be a buzzkill. Saturn moves into a new sign every 2.5 to 3 years, and it goes through all 12 signs every approximately 29 and a half years. And when Saturn re-enters your sign, this is called your Saturn return, and it's actually a very significant event in astrology. It's essentially your rite of passage, a big point for maturing, and this will happen between the ages of 27 and 30, depending on where it lines up. And it will bring you many opportunities for maturing, and it's kind of considered your astrological coming of age. I have not yet had my Saturn return. I believe my Saturn return comes in 2028, and I will be 29 then. And I'm really excited because I've heard people talk about their Saturn returns, and I find it so fascinating. So I'm excited for that part of my life journey. I have Saturn in the 8th house, which that energy is patient, hardworking, often leads to a spiritual path, self-disciplined, and lots of change and growth, connected deeply to transformation. And this energy is very empathetic. You can tap into other people's energetic fields. And my Saturn is in the energy of Taurus. So this energy is very humble, grounded, focused on money for what it can do, not for who it can impress. And even as a very successful individual, you'll still be relatable, as stable, and deep commitment to goals. So when you combine those energies, it ends up being a focus on financial stability, shared resources, and personal transformation, and a very transformative journey, lots of rebirths and inner strength. The next planet is Uranus. This planet rules scientific inventions, innovation, technology, our higher minds, radical ideas, humanitarianism, creativity, and it's associated with the unseen aspects of life. Uranus is about liberation, so what you need to do to feel free, what frees you. Innovation, so it's your way of being genius or original. Chaos, so where things in your life tend to shake up and may enjoy the thrill of the uncertainty in that aspect of whatever energy that's in. Your life force energy, so makes you feel alive. Your higher mind, so this is connected to like the higher realms of existence where you can rise above and think beyond. Uranus rules Aquarius, and this energy is just meant to be weird. It's meant to shake things up. It's meant to be different. It's meant to be original. And it's also about your community, being humanitarian energy. Say, who are your people? Where do you belong? And what you're going to stand up for. The people, like supporting people, rooting for the underdog maybe, and just trying to create more peace. Just honestly wanting to make this world a better place is big for this. And you'll want to make the world a better place in whatever energy you have Uranus in, whatever house, those aspects of your life and of the lives of others as well. Uranus is referred to as the father of the sky or father of the heavens, and Uranus rules the sign Aquarius and the 11th house. The power of Uranus energy is independent, innovative, or likes to create change, rebellious, free, and humanitarians. Uranus shadow energy is wild or untamed, irresponsible, upheaval, chaotic, and can be cranky. Uranus takes about 7 years to move into a new sign and about 84 years to orbit the sun. My Uranus is in the 5th house, so this is freedom and individuality, helps break free from limiting beliefs and social norms, driven by own interests and passions, which leads to living a fulfilling life, and loves to be thrilled and entertained. My Uranus is in Aquarius, which is innovative, different, desires to contribute to society, visionaries, and values personal freedom, also friendly and social people. So putting these together, it's expressing your individuality and uniqueness through creativity and passion. The next planet is Neptune. This planet rules the subconscious, spirituality, fantasy, illusions, imagination, addictions, mind-altering substances, projections, empathy, and artistry. Neptune has to do with your dreams. So what do you fantasize about? What do you daydream about? What is a common theme maybe for your dreams, like literal dreams while you're sleeping, but also the dreams like your aspirations and goals and healing. So how you heal from childhood trauma and just trauma that you have throughout your life. This also includes ancestral trauma. So trauma that comes from your bloodline, and we do carry trauma on from that. So healing those wounds as well. Your subconscious mind. So this has to do with meditation and subconscious beliefs and patterning as well. It's about illusion. So it's where you're gullible or unable to see things for what they are. And also maybe you have the energy of being able to create illusions in wherever you have Uranus as well. It has to do with addiction, so the struggle to say no or set limits, and which can lead to spiraling to self-destruction. So this can do with drugs, but it can do with exercise or eating or any kind of aspect where you can have addiction. They are all of those will depend on your placement of this. Sacrifice, so where you'll give up too much for others, or also where you'll play the victim card. Glamour, so it's like where you create your magical spin of the world that enchants the world. And also art, your creativity and your outlet for art and creativity and what you're capable of, and your compassion, so who you're here to help and how you show up in compassion for those peoples or for that way that you are here to help. Neptune is referred to as the god of water or the god of the seas. And Neptune rules the sign Pisces and the 12th house. Neptune's power is imagination, empathy, compassion, creativity, and magic. And the shadow side of Neptune is deception, addiction, trickery, confusion, and drama. Neptune moves into a new sign every 13 to 15 years, and it takes about 165 years to orbit the sun. So this is one of the planets that is considered to be a generational planet. I have a Neptune in the 5th house, which leads to heightened creativity, spiritual expressiveness, romantic, theatrical, likes to put on a performance, and natural storyteller. I have a Neptune in Aquarius. And this means intuitive, nonconformist, wants to improve the world, a humanitarian, connection to the inner world, and really desires to see change in the world or create change in the world, which is so true. And these two together is to use creativity and expressiveness in your performance to help make a difference in the world. Which I like to giggle about this for myself, especially the part of it coming from the 5th house, because everybody in my generation has Neptune in Aquarius, and it's a big part of this generation wanting to make a big change in the world because we need a big change in the world, and I love that there's so many people that can see that and want to be a part of it. But me adding that to the performance theatrical side of it, I am literally a dancer, I'm a performer. And also I love that I have that energy with this because of what I want to do, to be able to have a podcast and be on social media as a way to help create change in this world. I just extra giggle at my placement for this one because I find it very accurate. The last planet is Pluto. This planet rules money, sex, power, shame, death and rebirth, renewal and cycles, so beginnings and endings of things, because the ending of something is just the beginning of something else. Pluto has to do with secrets, what you hide out of shame or disgust, the unconscious, so what you can't see about yourself, and this often comes forth as projections onto other people, transformation, so the aspects of your life that are going to have extreme change and growth throughout your life, how you share and connect with others, death and loss, so the areas where you may frequently lose things in your life and how you grieve and overcome that, obsession, things that you fixate on, and essentially just evolution, how you'll grow and evolve spiritually throughout life's toughest lessons that it's going to give for you, right? The energy of this planet is very much beginnings and ends and growths and transformations. And also it has to do with destruction, where you may be destructive or your own worst enemy. So sometimes it'll show you that energy where you are like attacking yourself, and it can be really helpful to see that so that you can be aware of that and maybe create less of that in whatever energy you have Pluto in. Pluto is referred to as the god of the underworld. Pluto rules the sign Scorpio and also rules the 8th house of astrology. Pluto's power is transformative, has opportunities for growth, change. It's about reinvention, and it's very powerful. Pluto's shadow side is intense, secretive, shameful, power struggles, and manipulation. Pluto moves into a new sign every 12 to 20 years, so this is also a generational planet, and it takes 248 years to move through all of the signs. I have Pluto in the 3rd house, which leads to a desire to connect or communicate on a deep level, deep, meaningful conversations, deep, powerful intellect, and seekers of knowledge, and also can be a little bit of a flirt, guilty as charged. I have Pluto in Sagittarius, so this leads to philosophical, strong moral compass, open-minded, loves talking about how shifts in beliefs can change the world, make it better, absolutely, and might struggle with knowing how much to share, not knowing what to keep to yourself, and maybe being a little bit of an oversharer. I'm definitely an open book kind of person, and I feel like maybe sometimes I share a little bit too much, but I think that the more that I share, the more people can relate to me, so that's just kind of how I see it. But I do get sometimes shade from people that do not like to share as much of their lives, so I can see where that comes from. When you combine these together, it can result in communication times transformation, deep curiosity and pursuit of knowledge, and a powerful way of thinking. Also, this one I have all of my placements I very much resonate with. It is very much true to who I am, but this is also one that I very much feel, especially like because again, Pluto in Sagittarius is everybody in my generation, but having it in a 3rd house placement, like, I love deep conversations. I'm not one for the shallow conversations. I don't want to talk about the weather. I want to talk about aliens and dimensions and spirituality and all the funky things. I don't want the small talk. So this one I deeply, deeply resonate with. So if you're wondering, what about Cancer and what about Leo? Leo is ruled by the sun and Cancer is ruled by the moon. I already talked about these when I did my introduction to astrology. I just touched on the planets slightly in that episode, but I went into more detail about the sun and the moon because they are a part of your big 3. So if you want to learn more about those, head back to that episode and check that one out. So that is it for today. That is all about the planets and also a little bit more about me, I guess, because I just gave you a lot of information about my own charts and my own planets. And I hope that you guys enjoyed. I've been getting really positive feedback about my astrology series that I have started. So I'm really excited to make more episodes like this like this for you guys. If you guys have any requests of certain parts of astrology that you would like me to talk about, just shoot me a message and I will make an episode for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye! Thank you so much for tuning in today and making Soulful Self-Development possible. I am grateful for each and every one of you. If you enjoyed the show today, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. Stay tuned for new episodes coming out every Wednesday. You can connect with me on social media at soulful.self.development. I would absolutely love to hear from you. You guys make my heart so full. See you next time.